Hey, what's up guys? John here. If you thought 2020 was bad, it's nothing compared to what's coming in 2021. This is going to be the worst recession in world history. Normally, in a recession, we'll have a real estate crash like 2008, or a dot-com bubble in 2000, or a random stock market crash. We'll have a variety of individual issues that will become a crash, but right now what we have is a situation which is going to cause hyperinflation. Also wants to offer 11 million new undocumented citizenship. He then is increasing the minimum wage and increasing taxes across the board, especially on the wealthy, or really hiring a majority of the people. But then things get really crazy as we have a collapse of industry and we have civil unrest, and America holds 46% of the entire world's gun supply. So things are going to get pretty crazy the next year or two. But this is not the first time this has happened in world history. This happened once in Germany about 100 years ago, and there was one man that I found specifically that became a billionaire off of this situation. And in this video, I'm going to break down what he did step by step so that you can utilize some of his same strategies to create wealth for yourself. Because we're going to see 99% of people just get blown out with what's going to come. So please hit that like button. When you do, YouTube is going to share the content. We'll be able to help more people. And let's begin. What we're seeing now is going to be the collapse of small business. And here's how it looks. So first and foremost, small business is built on face-to-face human interaction. That's done now. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, all the powerful people are saying we're not going to open until 2022. And what that means is this early 2022 or end of 2022? If so, this could be 2 years from now, roughly. Now, John Delaney, a U.S. representative, said we need 75% of the U.S. population for us to have herd immunity, which is 247 million people. That's going to take us a very long time, especially since the vaccines will not be available till March or April, beginning for us to actually start hitting big numbers. So with that being said, small business owners have a question to ask themselves. How can I survive and make it outside of stimulus and government assistance? Well, it's to take advantage of Facebook and Amazon, all these subsidies and grants that they're offering you to bring your business online to them. Now, what happens here is really twisted, and people don't, I think, catch on to what's happening. But what they're doing is when you have a brick and mortar retail location, you pay a flat fee every month for the retail, for that lease. You can bring the customers right to you. But if you're on Facebook or Amazon or any of these big tech companies, as you bring your business online, they're going to increase the cost of your ad spend up front. There's no lease that you sign. Every month, every quarter, every year, they're just increasing on you. Now what then happens is these companies can see just how profitable your business is. And if it's a very profitable business, they already have your data. They understand how profitable, how many customers you're getting, how much money you're making, and they can simply compete with you and blow you out of the water. Amazon's been busted doing this themselves. So it's a trap for small business to bring their customers over, and it's a great way for them to yield even more power and more control over the middle class. So the next industry to be absolutely ravaged is going to be farmers. Farmers are going to get destroyed because basically policy is changing, and it's changing in a way to make it nearly impossible for them to survive. Bill Gates owns 11 of the 12 seats at the UN Food Bank, either directly or indirectly being one of their primary donors. Now, what they're voting on is food policy, what they can and can't do on their own land. What's crazy is that there's 570 million farms in the world, and more than 90% of these farms are run by an individual or a family that rely primarily on family labor. Family farms occupy a large share of the world's agriculture land and produce about 80% of the world's food supply. So it's a huge industry. It's a $2.4 trillion industry, and there's no way that big tech is not going to get their hands on it in the name of going green and helping save the world's environment. Now, if you go on Gates Foundation's website, you can look at it, and it says we focus on 4 strategic goals that help drive agricultural transformation, and that ensures this transformation is inclusive. Increase agricultural productivity for smallhold farmers, increase smallhold farmers' household income. Now, what this could mean is that the income is going to fall by 80 or 90% with their new policy, so it's going to increase it slightly from there. Then, increase equitable consumption. So what this means, increase equitable consumption. Basically, impacting you on what you can and can't eat. Of a safe, affordable, nutritious, so again, they want to get inside of your diet and tell you what is healthy and not healthy for you to consume year-round, and increase women's empowerment in agriculture. You know, you gotta love when they finish it with a buzzword like women's empowerment or oppression or one of these things. Essentially, all they're doing is manipulating society, making them feel like they're doing something good for you. So when you hear that, you say, you know what, maybe this is better for the world. And let me just give them a little bit more power. And they keep using these buzzwords to continue driving more and more and more power away from you and to them, and then ultimately they own you. Now here's what you can do about it to really set yourself up for massive level success. Because this is what the elite, this is what they're gonna do, and this is what you can do on a smaller scale. Now, Hungary, Poland, Austria, Germany, they've all went through hyperinflation in the past, where their currencies literally went to almost zero, where you could take a $1 bill in the US dollar, and it would devalue by a trillionth. That's what happened in Germany. Now, one man named Hugo Steins really manipulated that system to where he just basically became the modern day Warren Buffett. And here's how he did it. I'm going to read the article verbatim. It's perfect, and I don't want to mess it up. In 1910s and early 1920s, however, Steins was the Warren Buffett of that age, popular and admired far beyond Germany's borders. He had come to the position where he could take Wildman's factories in 1914 by building up his own enterprises in mining and shipping and then using them as collateral. Known as the Baron, the German government sought his advice. As he became more politically active with his activism, came more opportunity for growth, and not just in the manner of appropriation due to war necessity. At the time of his death, Stein's empire had amassed something like 4,500 companies. In 1992, Time magazine dubbed him Germany's new Kaiser. Regular Germans simply called him inflation, the king of inflation. He was the living embodiment, fairly or not, of the zero-sum game of inflation. In this case, hyperinflation, which is where we're going to be going. The vast majority of Germans were wiped out by the monetary monster in 1922 and 1923. Some, however, did extremely well. Steins was, as his nickname openly declares, the top of that list. The basis of his wealth was hard assets that, in the time of existential currency crisis, made him nearly invaluable. But he used that position to leverage and borrow much, much more. He could take over bankrupt competitors while storing his own profits in Swiss gold, all with understanding full well where it was going, a total monetary default. So he knew where it was going. We all know where it's going. It's going to be a print fest for the next couple years. And as these jobs essentially become no more, even when this is over, most of these jobs won't be coming back. The government's going to have to support all these people. And the only way they can support people is either by increasing taxes dramatically or devaluing our currency. Now, here's my advice to you if you are a small business owner, or B, you have cash that you want to invest right now. If you are a small business owner and you have an online business and the ads that you're running for your business makes it profitable, I would pour as much cash as you can into ads now and continue growing and scaling your business and really collecting enough data off of your customers to where you're not going to be fully dependent on, say, a Facebook. And then also what you'd want to do is take some of that capital that you're bringing from those ads and start buying assets. Now, if you're B, you already have cash you want to invest, I would highly look at real estate that produces great income, land, also collectible cars, art, even jewelry. There's so many things you can buy that will hold value long term much better than the dollar. So be very creative with your strategy going forward. A lot of people want to, I think, write off the idea that AI is going to be a big threat to human. It's really going to be a major, major threat. And you look at it now. I mean, they're saying that up to 73 million jobs will be gone in the next 9 years out of a workforce of 155 million. That's half of US jobs gone. Look at the environment right now. Even before 2020, we had over 60 million people on some level of welfare. 60 million. Now, if you were to open the economy up tomorrow, that number would probably be double. So you really have to take a look at the overall shape of this world and where we're going, and you'll start to realize that assets are king. So be very smart. If you don't know what you're doing with real estate or really with business, now's the time to study and really focus and learn as much as you possibly can. And if you're starting a new business, think about something that's going to be evergreen, that's going to last for a very, very long time. Because the longer you think, the more long focused you are, the more successful you'll be. All right, guys, please hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next video.